Hello everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a revamped version of a deck that did so well in regionals and even made a little bit of a splash at nationals and worlds, and that is a Waterbox deck. Now, before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. It helps us out a lot and lets us do more for you guys. And as for the question of the day, I know I always do something Pokemon related, but you know what? I'm going to switch that up a little bit, and my question of the day is, how is your guys' day going? I mean, that's just simple as that. How's your day going? Did you do anything fun? Anything exciting? Anything Pokemon related? Well, besides watching this video, let me know how your day went in the comments section below. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. My day, could be better. Had to work, so I mean, that's always a damper. But you know what? I'm free for the rest of the day, and I'm super, super pumped to bring you a deck today. But anyway, on to the deck. Like I said, this is a Waterbox deck, and really the strategy behind Waterbox was just have a bunch of water Pokemon and then adapt your strategy to whatever your opponent was using. I mean, normally you have Seismitoad in there. It was like Seismitoad, Regice, Glaceon, Articuno, Manaphy, and then I think like Aurorus. Basically, it was a water deck that just had something to deal with every different type of deck. And while this deck did lose Seismitoad, which in my opinion was kind of a big hit, it still has some viability, and there are some cards that can replace it. I decided to replace Seismitoad with Mega Gyarados EX from, that's not even Fates Cloud, that's all the way back in Breakpoint. 240 HP, so it becomes the bulky, really hard hitter, because, I mean, the deck has elements of a lock everywhere else, because, I mean, you have Regice with the EX lock, and then Glaceon with the Evolutions lock, and really what all this deck was missing was just a big hitter to come in and just take one shots. I mean, Seismitoad had the ability to do item lock, but also to hit hard with Grenade Hammer and take one-hit knockouts. That's where Mega Gyarados is going to come in. It's not going to be able to item lock, but it will be able to take big one-hit knockouts on things like Mega Mewtwo and Mega Rayquaza, as Blast Geyser 120 plus 20 for each water energy attached to Mega Gyarados, and if you do so, you have to discard the top two cards of your deck. That has the ability to OHKO Mega Mewtwo and Mega Rayquaza in one hit if you have 5 water energy, which is actually easier than you would think. I mean, I've actually been able to accomplish it quite a few times in my testing of this deck. But then, of course, we have the Regice and Glaceon for the lock elements, and then Articuno to take extra prizes against decks that rely on lower HP Pokemon, and even potentially knock out a Shaman if it comes down to it. So this is the new version of Waterbox. I mean, it's still very, very effective. In my opinion, I don't know if it's going to be a top tier deck, but it is still a pretty good deck. It's very fun to use. I would like to throw that out. That I'm not sure how necessarily competitive it's going to be, but it is very, very fun to use. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly go through each of the Pokemon. Shaman, because Shaman has draw power, and Shaman is draw power. I mean, that's really the only thing you ever want to use it for. One Hoopa. Now, I say this very, very carefully. Use Hoopa sparingly. You'll be running out of bench space a decent amount in the deck, and Hoopa, I'm running Mega Gyarados, so Hoopa can get out Glaceon, both Gyarados, and a Shaman. So, I mean, it has definite versatility, but be careful with how you play Hoopa. Don't just play it down willy-nilly. See if the match is conducive to Hoopa being used properly and used well, so that it doesn't just become a dead spot on your bench. Running one Articuno to help with the lower HPs because of that Delta Plus ability or Ancient trait. Allows you to take an extra prize. It's basically Plasma Lugia's overflow. One Glaceon to help with the evolution lock. It helps against things like Mega Mewtwo, Mega Rayquaza, that type of thing that are becoming so popular now. And there's really not a big basics deck that's doing super well. So Glaceon is, in my opinion, getting a lot better in this current meta. I mean, we'll have to see with evolutions if that continues to be the case. But as it stands, Glaceon, I think, is very, very, very effective. And while things like Pokemon Ranger are able to shut it down, it does force your opponent to play Pokemon Ranger as opposed to a draw supporter, and you can work around that. Running a 3-2 line of Gyarados and Mega Gyarados, because, I mean, that's the big hard hitter of the Waterbox deck. 2 Manaphy. This deck relies quite a bit on Manaphy being able to get free treat with all of your water Pokemon. And I mean, even then, Mineral Pump does 60 damage for 2 water energy. It's not great, but you heal 30 damage from all of your Pokemon. It's decent. It was a lot better when Trevenant was running rampant, and it would just basically eliminate a turn of Silent Fear. But, I mean, now it's okay, and you basically just use it for the free retreat, which it actually comes in very, very handy because you do kind of heavy Pokemon with... that's not Rayquaza, that is a Gyarados. Having 4 retreat cost, Glaceon having 2, Regice having 3, Articuno having 2, Hoopa having 2. So basically, Aqua Tube just really, really helps with the switching out. And then Regice with the last spot in the deck with the Resistance Blizzard completely locks your opponent's Pokemon EX, and even Ice Beam if you need it. On to the items, I'm running 2 Energy Switch because Mega Gyarados cannot be accelerated energy to through Max Elixir. So if you have an Energy Switch, you can go ahead and Max Elixir to something on your bench, then Energy Switch it onto Mega Gyarados. This is also very nice for if you have a Pokemon active like Shaman or Hoopa or something you don't want attacking. You can play down a Manaphy, get the free retreat, and then use the energy to get onto the Pokemon that you want with Energy Switch. Running 4 Max Elixir just, helps with the acceleration. I've actually been able to get quite a few Resistance Blizzards and Crystal Rays off turn 1 with the combination of Max Elixir and Energy Switch. 1 Super Rod just in case I overextend myself a little bit and need to get stuff out of the discard pile. 4 Trainer's Mail, 4 Ultra Ball to get everything out. 4 VS Seeker, and actually I like Trainer's Mail, or I like Ultra Ball over Dive Ball in this deck just because, it guarantees get you the Shaman and the Hoopa, and those more often than not are going to be the things that you want to search out anyway, so definitely experiment with Dive Ball. I would encourage you to do that, but I just went with 4 Ultra Ball because it was safe and guaranteed. And then I'm running a very standard, my standard supporter line now of 2-4 for N and Sycamore for the draw support, 1 Lysander to bring stuff out, 1 Pokemon Ranger to get rid of those nasty effects that are so detrimental. And then, that's really just kind of my standard line. Go ahead and experiment with yours. I would love to see what your guys' supporter lines look like. This is just one that I'm comfortable with and I have been using. 3 Rough Seas to heal off all of our Pokemon, 2 Fighting Fury Belt to slap on like the Glaceon, Articuno, and Regice, as those are the things that we will be attacking with the majority of the time. Mega Rayquaza, or not Mega Rayquaza, I keep saying that. Mega Gyarados just comes in to get a big knockout if you need it. And that being said, we have 2 Rayquaza Spirit Links because we're only running 2 Mega Rayquaza. God, why do I keep saying that? 2 Gyarados Spirit Links because I'm running 2 Mega Gyarados. Good lord, I'm so sorry, guys. I keep doing that over and over and over, and I'm going to do it and not catch myself at some point. So just go ahead and count how many times I make that mistake and leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to see how big of a screw-up I am in life, just like my parents tell me I am all the time. And then I am running 12 Water Energy to most effectively use Max Elixir, basically almost get a guaranteed energy whenever you play it. So that is really, really nice, helps a lot with the acceleration and lets you do exactly what you're wanting whenever you want to do it. So you know what, that is the deck. Not really much more to say, so let's just go ahead and see it in action. Alrighty, we have found one against Fear the Games. And, okay, it looks like it's this could be a Volcanion deck, in which case we would actually be at a huge advantage, so I'm really hoping it's a Volcanion deck, because at that point, we'll just have such an advantage being able to hit for weakness and also lock our opponent at the same time. Get very, very non-ideal starters, and we don't even get to go first, and actually, you know what? This isn't a bad starting hand, because what I can do is go ahead and Hoopa for a Gyarados and a Glaceon or something in a Manaphy, and then triple Max Elixir onto the Gyarados to maybe be able to hit for a ton of damage first turn and then go from there. So you know what? While I did have a pretty bad starting Pokemon, oh no, I like my hand. I start with a Shaman, which sucks, but I still like my hand. It was a good hand. Oh well. And we get end into a much less desirable hand. Ugh. Well, on the bright side, I at least have, the energy switch and stuff to be able to throw it on to, put the energy onto the Shaman, retreat out, and then put the energy onto something I actually want it on. So, it's, not completely lost, but, oh, that was actually a really awesome opening hand. I would have been able to potentially get a Gyarados attack turn 1. And did I say Rayquaza again? I know I said Rayquaza again. I had to. There's no way I didn't. And okay, I get an N. I really don't want to have to get rid of all these cards with a Sycamore, so I'm just going to go for the N, and okay, I get the Ultra Ball. This I can work with. So What do I want to get rid of? Let's go ahead and get rid of the Super Rod and... I mean, do I want to get rid of the Mega Gyarados? Because, I mean, then I can Super Rod it back in, but at the same time, like, I don't think I'll need Mega Gyarados in this matchup. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. Grab the Regice just to make sure that I have something that I can Max Elixir on. Go ahead and put the energy on the Shaman, and then Max Elixir the energy onto the Regice. And, I mean, I could have gone for a Hoopa to get, like, a Manaphy and a couple Gyarados and stuff, but I decided to just go safe. And, okay, so we get a Gyarados we can go ahead and play down. Still need the Manaphy. Ooh, I get another Max Elixir. You know what? I'm only an energy switch. I mean, assuming I hit this. Yeah, I do hit it. So I'm only a Manaphy and an energy switch away from being able to Resistance Blizzard turn 1 and not only knock out my opponent's only means of energy acceleration, but also lock out his EXs from attacking. So yeah, I'm going to be able to play my hand down. All I need is one more, like a Max Elixir or an energy switch. I can get it. Oh, there we go. Did I hit it? Do I hit it? Oh, booyah. Yep, I'm going to be able to Resistance Blizzard, turn 1, knock out this Volcanion, and oh man, my opponent just scoops. I mean, I don't blame him because there was literally nothing he could do at that point, but I mean, Regice was fully powered up, ready to go. I could have played, well, I guess no, I couldn't have played the Fighting Fury Belt because I didn't have it in my hand, but I would have just retreated my Shaman, knocked out the Volcanion, and my opponent couldn't even hit me with a Flareon or a Volcanion of his own, so... I mean, that just worked out beautifully. That's the speed and power of this deck. I mean, I actually get that a lot more than you would think, and there are so many different outs you can take to actually get a turn 1 Resistance Blizzard or Crystal Ray with whatever attackers you want to go with. So, I mean, that was a great first match. I mean, obviously way too short, so I'm going to go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one. Hopefully a better and longer match against a Hooligan 317 with like a dark electric, or lightning, sorry, it's not electric, and normal deck. So we do win the coin flip. We will get to go first. That is phenomenal for us. And alright, we even get a pretty good starting hand. What I can do is just go ahead and play the Articuno, play the Manaphy, and see what we're dealing with. And okay, it's a Mega Rayquaza deck. Oh man, I was already having trouble not calling Gyarados and Rayquaza, and now that I'm playing an actual Mega Rayquaza deck, it's just going to get that much worse. So I'm sorry in advance, and hopefully we can move on and still be friends. But, okay, so we do see the Rayquaza EX down already. Yeah, screw it. I'll just grab the VS Seeker just to increase my odds of getting a good Trainer's Mail or a, I don't know, something that I didn't get right there. Increase my odds of getting a good Trainer's Mail or the Max Elixir. That's what I was going to say. So, do I want a Shaman for one? Nah, I'll just go ahead and keep the Shaman for later if I need it. And then hopefully get something else going, potentially. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the Rough Seas down there. Go ahead and Trainer's Mail, see what I can get. Hopefully like a... you know what? I can work with that. Let's go ahead and grab that Fighting Fury Belt. Probably... Yeah, let's play it onto the Articuno. Go ahead and Max Elixir again, get another energy onto the Manaphy. And really, I'm just playing my hand down. I'm playing into those 2 energy switches, so I used up my available energy switches for the game. But, okay, please get like a Mega Rayquaza or something. You know what? That's fine. I can work with the Ultra Ball. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball, get rid of the VS Seeker and the Gyarados Spirit Link. To grab, yeah, a Regice. Regice is going to want to be my main target, is gonna wanna. Man, me is good at English. Let's go ahead and play that there. Go ahead and Shaman again. And I am putting 2 Shaman down, but I'm just trying to get this first turn as fast as I can and see what I can get. Let's go ahead and Max Elixir again. Put the energy onto the Regice and actually go ahead and attach the regular energy there, play the Gyarados down, and just end my turn right there. So, I mean, my opponent more than likely has a Pokemon Ranger because, I mean, you wouldn't run Mega Gyarados. You wouldn't run Mega Gyarados. Did I really just confuse... did I really just call Rayquaza Gyarados? I mean, this is going to be a rough live. I'm sorry. You wouldn't run Mega Rayquaza without some way of getting around things like Crystal Ray and Resistance Blizzard, but... Okay, my opponent is... I mean, he's got a pretty good start, got the DCE down, got a Jolteon, and he even has the N, which, I mean, it's okay if he plays it. Really doesn't matter to me because I have the Sycamore anyway. My opponent is he gonna double Puzzle of Time already? I mean, oh, he just has to rearrange the top of his deck, so that is great for us, meaning that my opponent will not be able to Puzzle of Time later in the game. Well, he will be less likely to be able to double puzzle, which could really swing some plays in his favor if he manages to get it. So he is just going to Shaman. And I mean, I'm okay with if Articuno goes down, because it's really not going to be particularly good in this matchup. I kind of wish I hadn't played the Articuno down, actually, but I mean, I didn't know what I was playing against, and I mean, I wanted to make sure the Manaphy was on the bench just because, and then, so my opponent does go ahead and end me. I mean, I get a hand that I probably would have played anyways. Well, I get a hand that would have given me what I would have gotten last turn. I mean, I just attach the regular energy to the Articuno. Unfortunately, have to waste it, which stinks that I won't be able to play that energy or use the energy switch onto Mega Rayquaza to be able to one-shot. Play the energy switch onto Mega Gyarados to be able to one-shot the Mega Rayquaza. Good lord, this is rough. You know what? I mean, you guys, I think you know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, you might not, just because I am screwing up so ridiculously hard with the names. I mean, they're both serpent-like, and they're both strong attackers, maybe? I don't know. It's okay, just ignore me. I never really say anything of particular consequence anyway, so I was able actually to go through over half, well, I guess exactly half my deck overall, because I do have 6 prizes, and 6 prizes would have put me at 30 cards, but overall, I mean, that was a really good first turn for me. I have a Resistance Blizzard up turn 1 once again. I mean, that's just how good this deck is and how quickly it can work very, very well. So my opponent, if he can get a Mega Turbo, will be able to one-shot my Articuno more than likely. He does need 2 more Pokemon. Well, there's 1, and does he get another one? Maybe? If he's able to get another one, then that will be bad. Well, I mean, then he'll be able to knock out my Articuno, but Fighting Fury Belt actually coming through right now because my opponent will not be able to knock me out with the Pokemon as it stands right now with the amount of Pokemon on his bench, and he goes ahead and Puzzles of Time. Is he gonna double puzzle or maybe just rearrange? Looks like he's, oh, okay, he just goes ahead and rearranges the top cards of his deck. I guess he couldn't do anything, so wow, we luck out there. I even draw into a Mega Gyarados. I almost said it, but I caught myself. A Mega Gyarados and a Gyarados Spirit Link, so let's just go ahead and play the energy on the Articuno. It Mega Evolved into Mega Gyarados, not Mega Rayquaza. That would be broken if I could do that. And then go ahead and just Sycamore. That's fine. Let's go ahead and retreat into Regice and just start the lock with the Resistance Blizzard. And yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. We are in a phenomenal position right now. I mean, unless my opponent all of a sudden pulls out a Pokemon Ranger or a Lysander, then we'd be in a less good position because Mega Rayquaza would be able to knock it out. I do want to get my Mega Gyarados powered up. That way I can just start one-shotting his Pokemon as opposed to constantly having to Resistance Blizzard. But if I can draw that Fighting Fury Belt, that would be great for my Regice. And, you know, I have the end there. I could Sycamore, but you know what? I'm just going to sit on my hand for the time being. I want to keep my energy. That way I can just attach to Mega Gyarados each turn, get it powered up while Resistance Blizzarding. I mean, it looks like my opponent doesn't have anything going right now. And so I don't want to end him to give him a new hand, but at the same time, I don't want to get rid of my own resources with Sycamore because I am at a relatively low hand size right now, so I need to be careful. I do want that Fighting Fury Belt because that will allow me to get the Oko on Mega Rayquaza next turn if I can somehow score that. But, I mean, that's... I mean, I feel bad about playing it on Articuno now because Articuno really isn't doing anything for me at all. But one thing I could also do is power up Articuno, but that would take away from being able to power up Mega Gyarados, which is something I definitely don't want. So I think I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, my opponent cannot Emerald Break because of Resistance Blizzard. And you know what? I think I'm just going to attach and then... Could have attached to Articuno to potentially set up next turn, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my Gyarados and Mega Gyarados. Just look through my deck, see what I've got. Alright, so... Yeah, that's fine. Looks like my Glaceon is prized, which is fine with me, and... I mean, I'll just... You know what? Screw it. I'll just go ahead and grab the Gyarados. I mean, why not? And then, yeah, I mean, look, see what's in my discard pile. I don't have 3 cards in the discard pile yet, but, do I want a Sycamore? I mean, I want to N. You know what? I'm just going to Sycamore. This could come back to bite me, but I'm just going to do it. Hopefully I can get something else going. Okay, so I do get the energy switch onto my Mega Gyarados, and unfortunately I can't attack this turn yet. I mean, that would have been great to have. I mean, if I had had another energy on my Mega Gyarados, I would have been able to one-shot that Mega Rayquaza and just start going to town on my opponent's deck, but unfortunately I do not have it. And okay, so 2 VS Seeker are in my discard pile. I have 1 in my hand. There's 1's in my prizes, so I'm gonna need to be careful about how I do that. I mean, I really wanted to end to conserve resources right there, but at the same time I didn't want to give my opponent a new hand because it doesn't look like he has anything. And okay, he just retreats into the Jolteon. That works for me. And I guess, is he gonna double puzzle? Or, okay, so my opponent will not have access to Puzzle of Time, it looks like, for the rest of the game. And that is phenomenal for us. So what I think I'm going to do, I get the energy. I could, you know what, this turn I'm just going to go ahead and Lysander in that Mega Rayquaza, get that threat out of the way, and then just, yeah, knock it out with a Resistance Blizzard and force my opponent to have something. I mean, I have the Gyarados that can one-shot anything on my opponent's side, but unfortunately I have very, very few cards to work with. So I don't want to necessarily have to discard all of those things. And oh, there's the Fighting Fury Belt. So Glaceon, Fighting Fury Belt, and a VS Seeker were prized. So that's unfortunate prizes. And I mean, I'll be able to get access to them hopefully. But right now, I'm not able to just Lysander in a Shaman and knock it out with Mega Gyarados, which stinks a lot. But I mean, it's something that I have to deal with. I just have to go with it at this point. Powering up the Articuno would have been a decent play, because then I could have been able to take 3 prizes off that Mega Rayquaza instead of the 2 that I did. But I think my board position is good enough right now that it really didn't matter what I did. And I mean, the Fighting Fury Belt actually really, really helps the math, because I'll be able to 3-shot a Mega Rayquaza instead of 4-shot, and I'll be able to 2-shot this Jolteon as opposed to 3-shot it. So that Fighting Fury Belt helps out a lot with the math with my Regice. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm in a good position. What I could do... So what I could do is knock out the Jolteon with my Mega Rayquaza. No, not my Mega Rayquaza, my Mega Gyarados. But you know what? I think my lock... I think I just want to keep the lock going at this point. Wait, is my... I don't know... Wait, so... Okay, so... Mega Gyarados will be able to knock out a Jolteon in 1 hit. And Mega Rayquaza has 220, so I need 1 more energy on my Gyarados to be able to one-shot the Rayquaza. So that's definitely something I'm going to try to go for. And I want to see... I think the VS Seeker was in my prizes. I think it might be. But what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and Ultra Ball to play down my hand a little bit. Well, I guess... No, I'm going to Ultra Ball not to play down my hand, but to look in my deck to see what is left in there. I mean, that could come back to bite me if I'm not able to... one-shot my opponent's... I guess it could come back to bite me if I'm not able to just start taking Okos on my opponent's Pokemon, because I could deck out. That is a very real possibility. I should have been safer with the Sycamore, or at least played the Super Rod or something like that. But okay, I get the Rough Seas, play the Fighting Fury Belt there, helps with the math, play the Glaceon down there, go for the Rough Seas, just get rid of my opponent being able to one-shot my Regice with Mega Rayquaza, even if he does manage to Pokemon Ranger. And okay, so I have 4 cards left in my deck. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and Resistance Blizzard, I think. Yeah, get damage onto the Jolteon and just go from there. I mean, I have the end to shuffle stuff back into my deck. I will have to be careful with how I use it because I want to make sure the math is right. But my plan right now is to take 1 more prize, or take 2 more prizes, take 1 more knockout, and then start going in on my, and then end myself down to 2 cards. That way I can effectively use Mega Gyarados' attack and not deck out. So my opponent's going to Hex Maniac, but unfortunately that doesn't work on existing effects. Only Pokemon Ranger does on that. And okay, so I don't draw the water energy. So you know what? I'm gonna Ultra Ball, see if how many are in my deck, and if the VS Seeker. No, the VS Seeker is prized, and oh wait, oh no, that was a misplay. So yeah, drawing that water energy actually I think would have guaranteed me the game. And I had a 50-50 shot to draw it, but I didn't. And then I could play down the Shaman, draw out the rest of my deck, and then end, but I still have prizes to take. You know what? I think I'm just gonna Resistance Blizzard this turn. Yeah, because if I can somehow get down to 2 prizes, then I can end and be pretty safe. I should have played that Super Rod earlier for the Gyarados and Mega Gyarados, but at the same time I didn't think that I would need to. Darn it, that 50-50 got me right there. I mean, admittedly, I should have played a little bit safer and paid more attention to my deck size. My opponent just has to pass. Okay, I do get the water energy. Unfortunately, that's not going to knock out the Mega Rayquaza, and it will put me down. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to... You know what? I think I'm just going to have to Resistance Blizzard again. My opponent will be able to retreat and buy some more time, but... Ah, man, that stupid VS Seeker being in my prizes is hurting right now, because otherwise I could just Lysander and a Shaman, put myself down to 2 prizes, and then end. That way I'd be in a position to win at this point, as opposed to having to play very, very carefully, and I think my opponent might just be able to stall me down at this point. He can't go into his Shaman, because I can just retreat into my Mega Gyarados and one-shot that without having to discard the top cards of my deck. And this is where Mega Gyarados' effect really, really hurts, because I don't want to discard the top 2 cards of my deck. I mean, normally it's not a big deal. It's just like, oh, I can hit for 100 more damage by just discarding 2 cards. Sure, not a problem at all. But right now, the fact that I am so low in my deck is really, really hurting. And ooh, this is rough. If my opponent stays in, I'll be able to knock him out. But if not, I'm going to have to start making some plays here, because I need to get a knockout in order to play the N, in order to get my hand down to an appropriate size to where I can actually just go for game with Mega Gyarados. Because if I can manage to take 1 more knockout, I'll be able to end to the point... Well, I mean, I won't even necessarily need to end. I'll just have to have 1 card left in my deck coming into my turn. And heck, I can even deck out, because Mega Gyarados will be able to one-shot anything and everything that my opponent puts out. So, I mean, I'm in a very, very, very dominant position, but looks like my opponent is going to retreat into the Jolteon. This is bad, and just pass. So, 1 card left. What do I do? You know what? I think I lose. I mean, I go for a Resistance Blizzard. I'm just going for my outs. That's that stupid VS Seeker being in my prizes, and then also the 50-50 on water energy. I drew the Manaphy instead, and ugh, that stinks. But I mean, my luck hurt a little bit, but I'm not going to necessarily put that down to luck. I mean, it was unfortunate that the card I needed was in my prizes and I wasn't able to draw it, and also that I wasn't able to get what was essentially a coin flip in my favor, which ultimately did cost me the game, but at the same time, I think I should have Super Rotted back in the Gyarados and Mega Gyarados, just because at that point, that would have been all I needed to be able to, Super Rotting back in the Gyarados and Mega Gyarados would have been the 2 that I needed, would have been the 2 cards that I needed to be able to win. Oh man, my opponent's even going to knock out my Manaphy and put his Mega Rayquaza in trouble right now. So I mean, I would have been able to take the knockout if only he had done that 1 turn sooner. But I mean, that was pretty expertly played by my opponent. I mean, at this point, I have no way to win at all. I mean, I could end, but I mean, I just draw into the 4 cards I needed. I mean, the damage is on the board. All I needed was 1 more attack, and if all I needed was just even 1 more card, just like, could I pass on my draw for this turn? And then I would have won, but you know what? I can't win, so I'm just gonna, yeah, go for as much damage as possible with Mega Gyarados. And, I mean, you guys see that this deck can be very powerful and was actually able to, I mean, it was able to take on, and, oh, even the Max Elixir, man, the Max Elixir, VS Seeker, the Fighting Fury Belt. I mean, had I had that on the Regice earlier, that would have bought me the turn I needed to win as well. So that stinks a lot, and that's very, very frustrating that we lose that way. But I mean, I should have managed my deck a little bit better. I shouldn't have put it in a place where I could lose with those cards being prized. I mean, it sucks that those cards were prized and then losing the coin flip, but I mean, that's how it goes. Decking out is a very real strategy and is a very real way of winning the game. So kudos to my opponent for playing that out the way he needed to win the game. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed this deck. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff, and let me know how your day was in the comment section below. But thank you very much for watching. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.